Assalamualaikum and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to RURB-DCP webinar series number 28, the compliance of fire safety design in buildings based on UBBL 1984. My name is Syamsul Arman Yap and I will be the moderator for this morning. Firstly, we are very honored to have our speaker today, Tuan Yang Setia TPJB Edwin Galan Teruki, Pengarah Bahagian Keselamatan Kebakaran, Jabatan BOMBA dan Penyelamat Malaysia, Kementerian Perumahan dan Kerajaan Tempatan to be our speaker for today's session. Thank you, Tuan Edwin.
Thank you.
Okay, first let me just give a brief background of Tuan Edwin. Tuan Edwin Teruki graduated from University Kebangsaan Malaysia in 1987 with Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and started his career with Jabatan BOMBA on the same year. In the year of 1999, Tuan Edwin also obtained his Master of Science in Emergency Response Plan from University Putra Malaysia. Tuan Edwin started as Ketua Bahagian Pencegahan Kebakaran dan Penguasa Zon Sibu, and today Tuan Edwin is the Pengarah Bahagian Keselamatan Kebakaran JPPM. Tuan Edwin currently is an active member of International Association of Arson Investigators, IAAI, the Institution of Fire Engineers, and also the Institution of Master in Disaster and Emergency Management Malaysia. Tuan Edwin oftenly present papers related to fire safety enforcement and fire investigation locally and abroad. He also conducts fire investigation involving with oil and gas fires. Tuan Edwin is an advisor on forensic science appointed by the Ministry of Higher Education, and he is also a part-time lecturer at University of Science Malaysia and University Kebangsaan Malaysia in the field of fire forensic. With not due delay, let's welcome Tuan Yang Setia TPJB Edwin Galan Teruki. Tuan Edwin, over to you.
Thank you, Tuan Haji Syamsul Arman Yap, moderator. This has how we call webinar, webinar. And first of all, I'd like to thank NPC have the initiative to launch this webinar. This is very timely because we don't want that any COVID that will cause us to not to interact physically. We can able to interact and wire. So hopefully this seminar will achieve the objective of an NPC to make the business more progress, even though in the COVID times. We understand that the building construction have to be progressed well, and economy has to be progressed, even though there is a COVID and some restriction. This is that is a purpose that we come together here, so that we can have a give understanding what that the compliance of fire safety in the UBBL. Okay, I'm not going to giving you a lecture. I just giving you a little bit glimpse. What is the fire safety design based of UBBL? What is the spirit of the UBBL? We must remember UBBL is not the content is my presentation. You have a background and the definition of fire safety, the principle of fire safety, plan approvals, the problem pertaining of the approval, and also the provisions and UBBL related to UBBL. I express it again. This is not I'm not going to have give you a lecture, give you a class. It's just that to give you a green. What is the fire safety is about? If you will go to other country like UK, US, and Japan, the awareness and the fire safety concept for all the citizens was very high, but not in our country. And I hope that with this seminar, we will able to give understanding. Is a professional. I'm sure all of you professionals here from the IM, from the PEM, and a few others professional. I hope that industry pertaining of fire safety also be around. So I'm going to give you the concept, the principle of the fire safety. This is very important to understand that, so that as you submit the plan to us, as you design the building in our country, it's safe, and at the same time can speed up can minimum the time, and it's good for you and good for us and good for the industry and good for our country. Okay, if you see under fire safety is in terms of focusing is taken prevention and reduce the likelihood of fire resulting of death, injury and property damage, and elect all the structure to present uncontrolled fire. I'm not going to read this one, but the concept here is to prevent and reduce any fire. And safety measure need to be taken out. The next one. What is a threatened fire safety is a fire hazards. That is the always happens and threaten and cause the fire anyway. By the way, as what the moderator just told you, I was a forensics for almost 12 years and forensics, and I understand enough the design that lead into the fire. In fact, I have go to court for a few times for many uncompliance and the case that the buildings cause into fire. So the fire hazard is the one that the threat of the fire safety. If you if the layman want to interpret what is fire safety, like Oxford University, then they give you a very clear concept. What is this? To adopt or to enhance the measure intended of the minimum risk of harm from incident fire or safety from the danger and the injury in event of fire. This is a very layman understanding of fire safety. You could imagine if this layman can understand that type of concept. So we try to minimize the fire. Next. The fire is refer to the fire prevention and limiting of fire according to NEPA. I like the NEPA interpretation. It's more complete. Limiting and spread of fire or smoke and extinguish a fire and hence to quick and safe exit. This is a quite very clear interpretation and very simple interpretation. So in conclude, all this fire safety, that is our objective is to reduce and to prevent any fire to spread. And how we as a designer, you as a professional, we as authority, to minimize all these things. That is our objective, actually, fire safety. To design fire safety in the construction is more complex subject. It's not like a standard. The next. If you see the horizontal or fire safety design, the building has been concerned an innovative design. So with this innovative building design, then you could utilize the fire safety engineering rather than having a purely functional base code. So we give room for the architects, for the designer, to achieve their innovative, cost-effective design to meet the fire safety design. Even though they have the innovative design, but don't forget the fire safety design, the needs. So fire safety engineering giving you a room to further to design your design. Okay, next. Next. To be a successful designer in terms of fire safety, we're looking into the issue, the components and track the fire source, how the smoke movement, heat transfer, and in other words, the chemical of that, and also the human behavior and the society. That is the all about fire safety as well. The project fire safety implemented building is building the regulation, what regulation you're going to use, what standard you're going to use as you go to us. Always remember, UBBL does not belong to BOMBA. It belongs to all of you and all of us. It's our responsibility to make sure that fire safety must be according to the regulation and to the standards. I'm afraid I'm good enough. I'm not really restriction of the Malaysian standard as well, but it could be international standard, which is more relevant and more applicable for all your design. Also the risk assessment, you must do the risk assessment. Many often, so often, when we design the premises, we didn't bother about the risk. We just order, sorry, is there any architects here? We just look nice, look beautiful. If you see the ladies, it just look beautiful. You don't want to see the fire safety. Fire safety is second primary one, second one. Later, after your design good, then you go for the fire safety, and then you have a problem later on. Just this one. So I hope that make a good do your assessment first. The prioritize what is the fire safety that take place in your design. Okay, and also the fire safety installations. I'm using the word according to the Fire Service Act and the structure fire precautions, material performance, fire detection and suppression, and the heat transfer of the structure and so on. So, in the past, we have almost 30% plan is rejected when you submit to BOMBA. So, in this the case, that's why we are looking for discuss with professional to give you the seminar in this time to tell you how we can reduce. We must have a strategy to reduce this. Unlike these, like Singapore and a few other countries, the responsibility of the designs, architect, engineers, and all the fire safety industry, they are very, the fire safety is a very high priority for them. We don't want to any fire happens which cause the death, like the Greenfield Power and few others recently in Dubai as well, and China as well. See the China almost every month there is an industry fire, which is a cause of the country and also the industry and also the job loss. To achieve this, we need to BOMBA and fire rescue department need to cooperate together with professional and the industry as well. It's not our objective to delay or to postpone your designs. It's our objective to speed up all the process. But you have to work together and you have to proportionally highly consider the fire safety as well. And this is the things you need to take prioritize. Next. So the objective of fire safety in the building is, of course, the first objective is the life safety. You not when building caught into fire, all the occupants, you must know. That's why we're talking about human behavior. You must know who the occupant. If the occupant is comprised with all people and so on, you must take it priority. How the life safety in that building. Number two, the property protection, and also the business continuity, and also the environmental protection. But praise the Lord, in our country, we have not a big incident besides that Tafis, which is 26 people die. It's a very simple building, but it costs 26 people die. So we don't want to hear that. It's a simple, but because of a little bit things that we didn't do, suddenly it caused a lot of people die. When I go doing the investigation, doing the forensics investigation in this case, I can literally cry to see the children die, 26 of them. That is the, we really need to away and really need to take priority on this case. Next. Next. So we are talking about the, I'll give you a little bit of concept. I'm not going to tell in detail what is the fire safety is about. Like I'm talking about the first one is according to UBBL law is fire appliances access route. We have encounter a lot of problem because the KM was endorsed without any consideration of the fire safety access road. Some of the building, when they come to us, they cannot do because the KM is already done. That is need to be prioritized. Those who do the KM, please take all these measure, minimum the perimeter, what's the width, what is the load or the capacity, the gradients as well, the distance from the building, the end of the road, and whether it need to be aligned, turntable ladder can be turned and so on. So this all this must be in the beginning part in the KM because fire and rescue department has not consulted in terms of KM. So when you come to BOMBA, you already bring the thing that already endorsed by the KM. Then we go into trouble. So I hope this is you take a prioritize. We don't want you to come to us, oh, KM already endorsed. Then you come to us how to solve the problem. Something, if this is simple, we can solve the problem. It is involved of the cost and involved of the place. It cannot do it all, so we can't do it. In the end, we delay the projects. So we don't want that to happen. Okay, next. Next. When of escape, prioritize this. This is involved of life. When of escape, make sure you design the double distance accordingly, the schedule 07, the DN, the corridor, and also the exits, and every part of the exit designed accordingly. There's a fire protection staircase, firefighting staircase. There's a two types of fire staircase, protection staircase and firefighting staircase. You know well, firefighting staircase is the staircase that includes all the firefighting system in the building. And also firefighting access lobby. I'm going to introduce to you one more later on. Fire lift is not included. Final discharge. This is one thing I like to talk here. Final discharge. According to UBBL, final discharge means you go out into the safe place. But many times we fail to go the let's say the staircase in the middle, go straight into the safe place. We always go through to the room or go to the other place, or it could be 100 meters far from the final exit. That is not final exit, a final discharge. Final discharge means you go out straight to the street. So you need to design. Let's say you have a shopping complex. We have contact the problem. The shopping complex on the top, then we go down to the basement, then we go up again to the staircase to the final exit. That is not a final exit. It's a final discharge. You should be out straight into the safe place. I hope this is a take priority. We don't want to be accused so much of this thing later on. So final discharge means go out safe place, not to the room, not to the other places. If you can't provide final exit straight to the street, you have to build the corridor. But that corridor You're not talking about 200 or 400 meters. This is not a final exit. Okay, next. This is the happens. If you see the feature here, the final exit and the second floor, then you have to go to corridor and so on and so on. Because you already, the design, you're more particular of the design rather than the life safety. So that's why it need to be considered. Next. Compartmentation. When you're talking about compartmentation, it's a fire resistant construction. The detail of the wall, the floor, and the size of the compartmentation. Okay, and then the next one is talking about the uses of the compartmentation. What is the uses? It could be different uses, which is need to be a compartment, like a factory and so on. So you have to consider this. But we do a lot. If you cannot achieve the size of the compartmentation, now we allowed you go straight into the performance base. No need you to go through the UBBL first, which is we cannot comply as well. In the end, you delay your process. So you go straight into performance base if you really can't achieve the size of the compartmentation. The building construction, what is the building material? This is another one problem because there's so many innovative material coming and prove to be good, but in fire, in ours as a authority, prove to be good must be comply with the standards. If you can prove according to the standard, we have no objection to use it. But make sure it's not come today, produce today, then you say approve, and not to declare yourself. It must be according to the standards. Opening of the compartmentation, reception of the opening, the door, and the shutter, and so on. I'm going to tell you later on if there's any compartment. You cannot do the brick wall. What you can do? You can use shutter later on. There's another one. Next slide. Next. Am I too fast?
No, I think Ton, I think the pace is good. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the compartmentation. You should do the compartmentation and your planning stage. If you cannot do the compartmentation, then you can go to PDA. We do a lot to do the PDA. Okay, next. Cladding wall, external wall, cladding. On the left, there is a greenfield tower. The fire happened 308, and by 5 o'clock, about 2 hours, all thing is gone. The cause of the fire is the fire spread, not cause of fire. The fire spread through the cladding, and this cladding is a material that has the solid forms inside there, and this is got few places installed in our Malaysia. We try to abolish it and ask any building to replace it into another material. One of that, if you see the fire in EPF building in PJ, they use the same material. Not long after the Griffin Power, EPF got into fire. They're using the same material. I investigated the fire, and I know what's the cause. So we do want to, in terms of, we must see when to get a building about the material of construction, the fire resistance, next, and the distance of the junction of building, that's the distance, and also the limiting of the unprotected opening. So there's we come to conclusion. We already meet with proportionals and few time and few series. We made a conclusion. Next one. Next slide. Okay, any building more than 80 meters, or 80 meters above, the material used, the material and installation of the cladding must be according to the DS standard 8418. Right, 8418. These are two types. These are two part of standards. Part number one is talking about higher performance cladding system, but more to apply to the masonry face to the building. And this is a new amendment 2017, and they use a test like a rain screen cladding and also the external wall insulation system. Another part two is a performance of cladding system for fixed to or support by the structure steel frame. These are two part of the cladding. So in other words, after this, 18 story above, the cladding must be according to this standards. We know more class O and so on. And this is also used in US and UK. Sorry, in UK after the Cladding Tower. Okay, the use are new. This is a new innovative for the cladding building. It can raise up above the system and so on. So in UK, they didn't produce any more other cladding for those who 18 story and above. They are using that cladding which is tested by this standard. Next. Fire safety system. Fire safety insulation system. I must use, maybe this is a new term that you must familiar with. This is according to the Fire Service Act, Fire Safety Insulation System. This is a more to occupants and automatic system like emergency lighting, keluar sign, and also all the system which is automatic in the building. You need to consider hose, CO2 system, smoke management system, clean agent, protection detection system, and also the sprinkler. So as a designer, you must use correctly all these fire safety solution. I give you an example. I just want to give you the example. Later on, you can ask a question. Those are related. It's my provocation. Let's say it is a building is more to the iron or steel fire, iron fire. You don't use clean agent. Clean agent is only for the building. The most possible system can be used is CO2 system because you can controlling all the iron when it's a fire. You not only stop the fire. So you must choose the right system and the right place. Let's say you want to use a detector, flame detector. Flame detector. Where is your flame detector? What flame detector you're going to use? And how the flame detector be activated? And so often, let's say we're talking about the detection system. The detection system is a standalone. The purpose of the system is not automatically to the other system. You got what I mean? Let's say flame detector. When the flame detector activates, it just indicate that you're in the control room, but there's no link into the other system. So you must think how the system can be linked together to give you a good fire safety measure in your building. Neyman, I know you have a lot of questions later on. You just note down, then you can ask me later on. Okay, next. For the firefighting system, for the firefighters, like a fire command center, in short FCC. Yeah? This is another one problem. So often the design. Sorry, architect and engineer here. I have to speak up to clear out the confusing among us. Too often, fire safety command center is always at the back of your building, and it is not protected. By the right, it should be well compartmentation. When it's a fire, the purpose of fire safety control room is when it's a fire, you as occupant and also firefighters can go straight to that building without any confusing or looking for all around the world building. And also, the fire safety control room must be able to stand fire. We don't want the fire control room into fire first. That's why we need it compartmentation. Fire resistant fire compartmentation. Fire control room is very important. In other words, fire compartment, the fire command center is a nerve in our building, body. If the nerve is already gone, die, isn't it? So that is the importance of fire safety fire command center. And also the fire hydrant pressurized hydrant system. And pressurized hydrant system, this once again the issue with the pressurized hydrant system is to incoming to the tanks. Too often we only design pressurized system for 2 hours. What happened in the building after 4 hours? If we didn't need to fight the fire, so there's an issue of incoming. How is your incoming? So that we can continuously use the hydrant when it's a fire, at least few hours, depending on the risk of the premises. If the premises is a high risk, you might take longer time to fight the fire. So you need to give the efficient incoming. Yeah? I just came back from last year. I've been to NAPA conference, international conference, and I raised this issue into the NAPA. So what is their answer? It's up to your authority, the required of the incoming. So that the main purpose is pressurized hydrant is so that you can use even though after 1 hour, 2 hours, depending of the risk of the premises. Foam system, the foam system, whether it's a dry riser and wet riser as well. There's another one issue. On Malaysia, I don't know why. Architect can answer me later on. We like the high-rise building. Then Amram laugh at me already. We like the high-rise building. Actually, our country has plenty of land anyway. We like the high-rise building. Last December, I go to US. We go to Oklahoma, one of the city of Oklahoma. If you see the Oklahoma, like place like Texas and Dallas, they spread out their development. They hardly get the high-rise building. But if you go to New York, everything is high. Or you go to Maryland, to the Washington DC, everything is high. You go to the Chicago as well. It's a high. Everything is high. Yeah? So this is the challenge here. The challenge here is there is some consultant. They want to do the stack of the hydrants, the stack of the high-rise riser, which is more than 120 or more than 60 meters, 60 meters above. So we already discussed with the professional, IM and PM. we already come up with the agreements that, okay, you can use 150 because the MS standard already approved 150. You can use it, but the design should be by different line. But later on, I can give you a detail later on if you go to sign the plan. This is the riser. We understand the technology has improved. In the past, if you design a pump 120, literally the pump can fly the building. But now technology is improved. The pump, you cannot hear the sound at all. Now, it can become improved later on. And the mix, the next one is a mixed system and also the hydrants. Okay, next. All this is used by the BOMBA. Next. During our UBBL amendment, we introduced to you one more shaft. We call it firefighting shaft. And this firefighting shaft can the slide firefighting shaft is comprised with a firefighting lobby, firefighting access lobby, the UBL word, and also firefighting staircase and fire lift. This is, we call it shaft. The whole thing is called a shaft. Can you circle those who monitor the sun? All this we call it shaft. Firefighting shaft. And for firefighting access lobby, that is we are using a maximum capacity 45, and all other requirements and so on. For the lift, we use 60 meters, but it's a distance. It must be according to the, if you need to go to room and so on, not the round. And also firefighting staircase, the one very easy, firefighting staircase. This is a firefighting shaft. Okay, next. Give you a sample, like let's see this one. This building, I move the cursor, but you cannot see my cursor. This is a firefighting lobby, lift lobby. Should be a firefighting lobby. You didn't see any firefighting staircase, and you didn't see any wet riser or dry riser system all there. It's a standalone. Never mind. Next one. Ventilation system. You need to consider in the large above ground building exceeding the 1,000 meters square or 7,000 the cube. You need to provide the ventilation and also the basement exceeding 100 meters. Next. The atrium. You need to provide the ventilation. I don't want to elaborate more because you can read over there. The staircase, need the ventilation. And so the smoke lobby, all these need ventilation. So you must provide the ventilation. Either you use natural ventilation or mechanical ventilation, right? So let's say the staircase as well. If your staircase not enough ventilation, people who accept using the staircase, it could be pain. So you need to provide the ventilation. Next. Next. We have a special requirement for the hospital design. Those who want to design the hospital, we should check. We introduce the refuse area, which is use horizontal education. And also the calculate of the area should be 2.8 meters per person. So this is we're looking at this seriously after the hire of fire and also Aminah SA, also Aminah. we need to have a refuge area so that the bed or the patient can be pulled into the refuge area. You cannot hold the patient because patient is already using the system, the ventilator and so on. So the best way is to remove all the equipment and also the bed into the refuge area. That is a recommend for the refuge area. And also the escape bed lift. There's another recommend for the escape bed lift. Next. And so the staircase design. The staircase design is not like a normal staircase. You should be able in conceptual the staircase must be able to accommodate the bed size of the staircase. Next, the width of the door, so that when you swing the bed in the door, it not be suction. And I think this is a challenge for the architects to design the new building. Probably is no problem. When you're using the other building convert into the hospital, they got challenge like that. That's why before you design, before you make decision whether that building can be converted into hospital, you better do your assessment first together with the developer or to the owner. Is it possible or not? We don't want you to come to us. It's not possible, but you come to BOMBA, let BOMBA agree with us. You no. Don't do that, helpless. So we want you to do your assessment first. Can it be or not? If the staircase, let's say the staircase already designed and that size, is you cannot knock any other staircase, right? So it's sure you cannot comply. So you must do your assessment first before it can be done. The wood design, we designed that on every floor area 750 meters square for every wood. You can have a few woods, and maximum the wood is our compartment, and the wood is 2,000 meters square. I think this do hospital now. Our country is very good and then health care and hospital. So a lot of hospital built in our country, particularly like a place like Malacca and so on. So this is the special recommend for the design. Next, fire shutter. The fire shutter, I want to read this one carefully because a lot of issue fire shutter. Okay, a lot of issue fire shutter. The fire shutter is permitted use as a compartment wall. We do permitted use as a use for compartment wall, except compartmentation for the fire command center, SCC, main of escape, which is including the staircase, smoke lobby, fire lift lobby, firefighting shaft, and external exit wave. That one, you cannot use roll shutter. No replacement. Okay, next. But the fire shutter, which is used to opening the compartment wall or floor, having necessary fire reception, including thermal insulation, not less than compartment wall. So you have to use the shutter, which is a thermal insulation. So our insulation shutter, fire shutter. You can use a normal shutter. Is it clear? Okay, next one. But however, the fire shutter which is installed at the edge of the atria, the board of escalator area between the floor and the doorway, does have a thermal insulation. Does not need to be a thermal insulation or fire shutter thermal. We give you assumption. So this is a very clear in terms of the fire shutter use of fire shutter. We don't want to come here for ask for the favor and so on. This is very clear already, right? Okay, next. Now talking about approving plan. Fire safety is an important element, as I mentioned just now. Next, I think you all know this one, architect ME plan must submit to BOMBA. Next. According to UBBL 24 bylaw 2451, any construction, development, and installation of firefighting equipment, fire safety installation rather than implementing of the requirement Part 7 and Part 8, the building submitted approved by DG Fire and Rescue Department before comprehensive work. The word here, before commencement of the work. Too often, after complete come to BOMBA. Am I right? I know you're going to ask me a question later on. Okay. According to the bylaw, before you start the work, and 252, plan, drawing, and calculation of the fire installations and extinguish shall be clearly identified to certify the DG. Clearly identified to certify the DG. Next. Did you understood? And then the plan architects, according to our claim starter, it must be approved within 14 days. 14 days we must approve. Approve or to verify within 15 days. We try our best to achieve this. But if your is the architects or engineer can did it well, to identify to us fire safety, safety, installation system, and so on, clearly, probably this work can be achieved quickly. But it's not, we have to study it one by one again. And we have to verify it. It takes a long time. Okay? So we hope that is our desire and our objective is the professional, the architects, and so on, the engineer, that they can do well in their design in terms of fire safety, so that we can help you. You can help us to verify it easily and quickly. Clear? Next. According to our statistics, 2015-2018, the approved building not install any other firefighting system, it's a simple system. 30% is reject the plan. 30%. The next one, with the system is up to 45% rejected. This is very high. So our work here, almost 45% is not accordingly. We want it 100% after this. Agree? 100%. If you can achieve 100%, 90% also good enough. Then you become a negara maju. Negara maju, black. Next. The MEE plan, 37% reject. Sometimes the reject is a small matter. And one thing that I have to verify to you all, the PSP or architect like to, MEE like to do, PSP like to do. Today they submit the plan. Tomorrow they submit another one amendment. Another day, another one amendment. So we know no end the job. So until have to call on them, call the owner, call the developer, call the contractor, call the PSP as well. Sit down together. What happened this one? It causes you delay. We have to reject 4 or 5 times reject. That's not good. We don't want to handle the project that long. We don't want to drag. One time enough. We can endorse you so that we can progress. In terms of our KPI, instead of we study 5 times reject, which is only 1, we got it. We want it 5 times. The KPI, the plan is approved. Okay, it's not our desire to reject your plan. To make it clear, So okay, next one. Next one. This is CCC and so on. I think I don't need to this one. Next. And one more thing, before the CCC inspection, now we introduce that the PSP, either your engineer or architects, verify first, do inspection before BOMBA come. We are given you a form to check. Please check it. Use the form to make sure you do the checking first before we come. So when we go for the inspection, it will progress. Then we can speed up to giving you a CCC if everything is a good condition. And all time, I may use the word. We don't want to go there. Oh, we already test one. During our test, all good. But now one datang, tak bagus. We don't want to do that. It is a good at all time. That's the word that we use in Fire Service Act. In the fire jet. Good in all time. Not today good, tomorrow not good. Okay? Next. The architect's plan rejected, or why is rejected? Main of escape. We have a lot of interpretation, and some of the PSP, sorry to say that, they know they cannot achieve, but they come to us also. Like testing ground now. Don't do that. Don't testing ground. Okay? If I know your testing ground at that, you will get it for me. I don't know about other officers. Don't need to think down. We want you to be honest with us. So that we can work together. Be honest to us. Compartmentation, always not comply and allow the material and unprotected opening and so on. Okay. The next one. Fire appliances access road access is now already mentioned very long just now in the beginning of my talking. This is always a problem as well. Firefighting system, fire safety insulation system, FII, also didn't comply. Am I still got time or not, Moderator? How long my time is?
Yes. Well, we can see a lot. Yeah, no problem.
No problem,
Yeah.
I don't want to give room for those who want to ask a question as well.
Actually, there's quite a number of questions. But I think we are also coming to almost towards the end already. Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Next one. Next one. The ME rejection, I don't need to go through this one. Next one. So what happens next? Lack of what happens when solus reject? Number one, the reason is lack of understanding of the fire safety principle and conception. I hope that every PSP, I know you have a junior architects or junior ME, please guide them. So one time, the owner come to me. Yeah, Tuan, I don't want to deal with this PSP. Very old lady, 80 plus, hardly see him. You say cannot. You have to liaise with your PSP. Please, don't do that. I know you're old, but you must guide the young one. And we don't want that complain the owner like that. And I receive this type of complaint a lot. Even during our presentation also, the developer, IQ with the PSP. You didn't do your work well and so on. This, we have to safeguard you also. I do respect you are professional. And I always keep that you're professional because I want to keep we also work together and cooperate together. Don't do that, huh? And one time, you know, I go for inspection. I say, where is PSP? Okay, no, got that one already already 80 plus. But why they send the plane? If I go down, why the PSP can't? If they're too old, why? I cannot also. If I want to go also in time to complete also, I don't want to let him go also. Correct? So please guide them and give them the authority to do. Number 2, lack of knowledge regarding our fire safety, especially among the young architect and young engineer. So I think the association like PAM, IM, please do something how we can improve. Like us also, we have to improve. How do we improve fire officers also? I'm not saying that fire officers are good. There is some that we need to them to improve, as well as young architect, young engineer. They have to understand the concept as well, because they are dealing with a very important fire safety. So they need to be well versed the things. If the PSP did well, we doesn't need to revise the plan. We can straight endorse. We hope that is our desire to lighten our jobs. This is our desire. So please guide them the knowledge, and also maybe later on the solution I will talk more. Next one. Number 3, plan done rather than done by the others rather than PSP. You understand what I mean? Yep. Yeah, I think you understand what I mean. I doesn't need to elaborate here. Then the design of fire safety system is verified by the contractor. Contractor do it. Until one time the contractor come to us, we are the one who good one. Yeah, where is your PSP? I say, please, if you do that, don't need to tell me. But you must know what the contractor do. All right? Next. Attitude of the professional negligence of the take for granted. I hope that this seminar, we take it professionally, take it seriously, fire safety. I'm just now at the beginning, I talked to you when we go to UK. I was UK. I was in beginning my service. I attended a course called fire safety, fire prevention in Japan. 3 months. You know. In Japan, they are very proud. They have a design well in their fire safety. They're very proud. They will use this as CG, the marketing they're going to do, and they are very proud of that. I hope this is happening in Malaysia. We are very proud to design correctly fire safety and completely enough fire safety. Right? Next. Simple mistake during submit plan is a lot of mistake. Until that we need to introduce a checklist during the submission. We're going to introduce this. I'm going to tell you now. You have to go, when you submit the plan, you have to checklist. Okay, this one got, this one got. If not, you take back. You're going to take back. We don't waste our time to study with not complete plan. Okay, number 1, plan submission after the building completed constructed. After the contract, at the end of the construction, they come to us. Then the agent, this one agent. Can you imagine if the 10 people thinks agent, everybody is agent, how do we do the work? And then complain to the stakeholder. We are not supernatural also. Please submit the plan in the beginning. There's some consent here also lah. Some of them, the PhD tell me also. Because if I submit to you one now, They keep on changing, same thing also lah. Then you have to deal with the developer. The developer until one time I say developer, you have must final say, final of your mind, no more change already. Coming to us. So another one, once a building is already completed, when there's any alteration or any discompliance, you cannot do it all. That is create a problem. At the end, the building is construction without any fire safety. Now, fire safety system and so on. Design a building frequently change, and others now I'm telling you is now keep on changing. You must tell the developer also. I don't think that it's fair to say that the developer also lah, because it's the paymaster, isn't it? That's another one issue also lah.
Yeah.
Need to discuss. Okay, another one is a plan and design done by the contractor. Is now I mentioned. Next. But by the way, the plan by the contractor. I go to NAPA conference recently. Yes. Now is the contractor, even the contractor, even the manufacturer has developed a computerized system like sprinkler and all that. They develop the you can use it. It's okay, but you must understand. Don't let 100% contractor do. You as a consultant must understand also to use it. That is the computer. There's so many computer simulation, calculation they use, the fluid and so on. We agree with that. Next, our solution. I come here to seminar. I want to solve the problem, not to create a problem. We want to work together. How we can, the best we can, to solve the problem so that benefit each one of us. Not only BOMBA, not only US PSP. Okay, what are we going to do? We are planning to register fire safety contractor. Number one. Number two, we introduce fire safety code under Fire Service Act later on, rather than UBBL. In principle, I agree with that. We're going to introduce, because to amend UBBL is so difficult. It involves a lot of agencies and so on. So we rather use fire safety code under Fire Service Act. Whatever you can amendment together with technology, that in line with the technology now, we can do the amendment. There's so much progress. Like UK, every year they have to amend the document B. Like as well, the NEPA 101. Almost every year they have progress to amend whatever according to their research. One thing is good in our other country. I hope it's happened in Malaysia. The university and all the researchers, they like to do the research. As they do the research, they're finding a research the effect to the fire safety code. What is the new technology? When I go to US for the conference, let's say, I always go to the new technology, learn the new technology they have, and also the system that they already did a research and they do the practical. When they do successful rate is there, so they're present during the conference. There's so many now. In our country, so little people want to do research, including BOMBA as well. So little. Can we work together, like a university, do the research? Suit in our country. It is involve time. It is involve professionalism. It is involve order. The future of our country. Okay, next. And fire safety course seminar, enhance the knowledge of the PSP. We already arranged this, but due to COVID, we can't do it. By the right, we should do it 2 times this year. We hope that COVID will settle next year. Then we can work together with a PM. We already work together with a PM and IM. We're giving you the cost because this is the instruction by our secretary our KSN. It's a part of our work together. Next, establish the performance rating system that also introduced by the government to the PSP. We're not going to penalize you, but you give you a rating. If your plan reject 3 times, maybe rating reduced. From 100 become 1 every time plan reject. I still talking about this one. I don't want to implement it now. Of course, the government has to implement. I'm still talking to give you a prepare yourself. To give you a prepare. It's not fair me to do immediately. So we develop the system now. We are computerized the system. All things now submit into the plan and into the online. Every time the plan reject, will automatically marking and your rating. Okay. Okay. Next. We're not going to penalize you. Just a rating below lah. That's what the government desire. And register fire safety facilities. Also, they will go toward that. Next one, the other facilities. And registered fire inspector to help you to inspect the building. Nowadays, everybody inspect. That's why I always, when I go to the site, do the inspection. There's 100 of people around together to do the inspection. I say not necessary. Just those relevant only to do the inspection. I want to talk to the PSP, talk to the engineer, also very difficult. I don't want to talk, simply talk there in front of unnecessary people. I'm correct. Isn't it happen? It's happened when I go down for the inspection. I go for inspection. To be honest with your PSP. So, I will pick some of the building later on. I go myself to do the inspection. Not to penalize you, just to make keep our professionalism, our thing is a compliant. Okay, to engage professional, engagement with professional, we set up a committee. We set up a committee. We call professional meeting in our fire and rescue department. We hope that in the future, after the COVID later on, we can work more often to do the constellation engagement. Next. Okay, submitting plan through e-premise or OSC 3+. We are developing a new online system now, e-premise. You could be not submitting the plan, but you can register first through the e-premise. We developing now. This e-premise will comprise on the plan submit until enforcement or until fire later on. All is there. That's what we're going to develop now. And if the government have enough fund, probably plan can submit through online as well. But it's depending, yeah. Or we prepare for that. Number 2, competency of our fire officer as well. We do that. We are giving a course, comprehensive course and so on. Next, review the plan in team in the committee. We don't want one person to do. We review in the team. Next, amendment UBBL. We did the amendment already. Together with IM, PAM, and so on. We already submitted to our legal officer. Hopefully, next year we can use it. The new amendment. There's a lot of new things. We will, maybe next year, work together with PAM and also the EIM. We can round over the place, tell what is the amendment they were talking about. Right? Next. Number 5, to engage and cooperation with the university. I hope university, if there's any participant for university here, take ownership. We want to work together with you enhance our fire safety engineering approach. As many as we can. Because now, what more to say now, we are introduced fire safety manager and fire safety officers in the designated premises. This will take place. The act, the regulation already endorsed, already enforced. Just like because of COVID, we are delayed a little bit. So after this, the needs for the university together BOMBA is there. Hopefully, the university will respond positive about this, like other university in US and UK. Say, for instance, I visit one of the university very well established in US, like Maryland University. They are work closely together with the practitioner and fire safety industry. We hope that it will happen in our country. We cannot just rely whatever in overseas. We should develop ourselves also in our country. Correct?
True.
Next. Next. Okay, in conclusion, at the end of my talks, any plan, drawing, calculation has been approved by the local authority. The responsibility, the failure of any building or part of the building shall be prima facie line with the person on submission, such a plan, drawing, and calculation. So read this one carefully. The sensibility is there. With that, I end my talks, and I yet to receive the question. No, the question a lot there. 35 questions now so far. How do we go? I pass to you, the moderator.
Okay.
Imran.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Tuan Yang Setia, Tuan Edwin, Galan, Teruki, for the very informative and a lot of useful information and also insights from pihak BOMBA, and to all the PSP and SPs, and also for all the participants on the line with us right now, as well as with all the participants which is also listening through the FB Live right now. Yes, we have a lot of questions. Perhaps just let me go through with them now. Okay. All right. We have from both the online Zoom webinar and also the FB Live. I think we have I think more close to 40 questions. But we will take a note for all the questions that everyone is asking right now. Just in case that we cannot answer everything, we will also submit all these questions to Tuan Edwin, so that Jabatan BOMBA will also take their awareness on all these questions arise. All right. Okay. Let's start from the first one. This one from Mr. Wong Ki Wai. Okay. Hi Tuan. MS 1780 menyatakan bahawa smoke control system perlu diadakan sekiranya keluasan melebihi 1,000 meter square. MS 1780 also stated only 2.5% opening is required for the natural smoke displacement. Adakah satu bangunan gudang yang mempunyai 5% opening, which is mematuhi UBBL 39, untuk pengudaraan semula jadi memerlukan sebarang smoke control system sekiranya keluasan telah melebihi 1,000 meter square?
Okay, this is a more to case study, yeah.
Yeah.
According to the MS standards. But anyway, we're going to revise the smoke, the necessity of the smoke in our UBBL later on. But to answer your question, just the question now is if the factory is more than 1,000.
Okay, the factory is actually more than 1,000 meter square, but it has 5% opening for the which is comply with the natural ventilation requirement from UBBL 39.
If this is comply according to the MS standard, you can use a natural ventilation.
Okay.
Natural ventilation. If you comply, the opening must be opening comply, but must be opening, not just calculate off the area of the opening, just the opening, because they use a unused panel. See? It's not that the whole thing is being calculated. It's a panel, opening of that panel only they be calculated. You got what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. All right. Okay, thank you, Tuan. Okay, second question from Architect Mustafa
the opening, which is the
Tuan, your voice is missing. Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay, next.
Okay, next question from Architect Mustafa Zulkarnain. Salam Tuan Edwin, can your department insist and request to the government that architects can submit and must be able to do KM submission due to this fire and fire protection system and planning requirement? This is important as only the architect understand and know can relate all issues of fire in this level of KM submission. Any comments and way forward for this? I think this is also relates to the earlier, Tuan Edwin, your slides regarding on the plan was approved in KM, which is actually submitted by the planner, which, but in most of the time, I think it's only the architects or the engineers understand all these firefighting requirements. Any comments on this, especially during the KM submission matter?
I agree with you. But we already have a meeting with the planner and also with our KPKT. They do a lot also. The planners to submit. I agree with you. I fully agree with you. We try our best. We will discuss again this matter further with the planner in our country. I fully agree with you because you are the one who understand.
Yes.
Okay. I take note of that. Thank you.
All right. So how any of the discussion or from the discussion with Plan Malaysia or anything, is there any planning on even during KM submission is required to submit to BOMBA or still remain as status quo at this moment?
No.
No, at this moment. Yeah.
At this moment, didn't need to submit to BOMBA.
All right.
But the question by the Architect Mustafa, is it Architect Mustafa?
Architect Mustafa, yeah.
That architect and also the AME should submit the plan rather than the planner. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. Well, we try our best because seem to be the planner also would like to submit the KM as well. Maybe we can require planner together with the architects as well.
Okay. All right.
So we will take note of that one.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Tuan. Tuan, just from the slide just now on all the statistics that are given from BOMBA in terms of the rejection rate, the data taken is actually based on the first time submission, or is how was this data how this data computing? So because honestly, 46% of the architecture plan rejection with system is actually very, very, very high.
Yeah. It's a first plan. What do you say now?
Okay, all right. So far in the BOMBA, do you have any data saying that in terms of the most in general, every single plan require how many times to get it approved? More than 3 or more than 5 or how is it?
Yeah, we got data, but I don't want to reveal it here. Not nice.
Okay, all right. Okay, sure.
Not nice.
Right.
Then number one, number two. Now we don't use reject. We don't use word reject. We use gains information. Dapat maklumat. No, we don't want to use reject. Reject is a very not the good words.
Yeah.
So we use get information.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. This is one of the question from the Facebook Live. Can architectural and M&E drawings submit to BOMBA together for approval? Or I believe this is specifically for the building which is FSI systems. Because I think currently is only after the architect submit, approve, then only M&E were following up for submission.
I think you can answer the question, moderator.
Okay, so I guess this is still the status quo. All right. Okay. Next. Again, on this is on fire rural shelter. I think this is already done. I think the one already answered during the presentation. Okay, this is from one of the anonymous attendee. Good morning. In my encounters with different BOMBA officers for pre-consultation, interpretation of the bylaw can be an issue amongst the design professionals and BOMBA officer. Is there any way we could streamline the interpretation of UBBL?
I don't say no. I don't. Maybe it's happen because we cannot control every one of our officer, and I cannot control every one of our human being. It could be a different interpretation. But we try to minimize it. What do we do? We're having a course, and I also going around all over. Hopefully, I can bring around all of the steps and sit together with them during the meeting to verify what is the mistake. One, number two, we're going to have a course with PSP as well, where you can tell what is the distributed understanding and so on. And there are some PSP come to me as well, tell me what is the distribute. Sometimes it's not really a distribute between them. It's just that understanding the PSP and BOMBA cannot come together the same understanding. That's number one. Number two, and then we going to, that's the purpose. If the engineer Chi, if the architect Chi will agree with me, I think it must be around here. Chi and few other Cheng Li Song, engineer Fong Si Fong, we come out with a red book, no, the guide last time. The purpose is to give you the same understanding. That's what the book they create. I already promised with PM, so actually Chi and Wong Si Fong and so on. We're going to have another book later on after the amendment of UBBL to give you the same understanding. All right?
Yeah, I think that will be a great effort from Jabatan BOMBA and also and also together with the professionals. Okay, let's continue with some of the questions here. This is from Leo Hata Samson. Okay, this is specifically on the clean agent cylinders. Where is the best location for clean agent cylinders? And what is a typical installation from clean agent system in the market today? Tuan?
I cannot answer this. It's based of the, you can ask those who supplier lah.
Okay, all right. Okay. Okay.
Because if you see the clean agent when they approved by the fire department under our R&D, they give you condition where to use the system. Where to use the system. The condition they give into you. Already specified there in your approval. So any developer or architect, you can get this one from them. What is the approval by the BOMBA? The condition.
Okay, all right. This is also on the question regarding wet riser system. Question from Mr. Hui Fang Ao. Under UBBL clause 2312, wet riser system shall be designed and installed in accordance to MS 1489, such that all parts of the floor are within 45 meters from a landing wharf. Is that mean the radius to be 45 meters or wharf to be 45 meters? I think some of the calculation, there's still lots of, I would say, different interpretation among the market as well.
Okay, I think this one shouldn't be a problem because we've been using this one for many years. If you read the UBL, let me see, read the UBL now. UBBL.
This is
They're talking about the radius 45 bath to bath, right? Landing bath to landing bath, right?
yeah.
If you read the UBBL, landing bath to landing bath, so there's no question. It's landing bath to landing bath, huh?
Okay, right. So this will be so it's all about the actual distance instead of radius. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Right, huh?
Okay.
So the basic principle is when we go to fight the fire, the landing path into the fire can be reached. That's the principle. Can be reached, right?
Okay. All right. Okay. This is also another question comes here. Is the fire lift coverage to furthermost 0.60 meter or is I think this is again, this is a lot of time is, I really believe that pihak BOMBA maybe still really needs to start doing a lot more talk because it's still asking about the distance or radius matter. Okay, let me just go through another one. Tuan, this is from the Yazrin Muhammad Yusuf. He has a situation regarding BOMBA access road to the site. The site is very remote and the current access road is less than 6 meters because it's GPS access lane. The site is, however, accessible by heavy vehicles like trailer and cranes, though we can't get approval just because the clauses state it must be 6 meters. We cannot enlarge the road because it's involved private land and GPS service lane. We have requested for special approval, but BOMBA said they are binded by these clauses. In this scenario, I think some of the, especially some of the rural area and other things, maybe some of these happen. So in this kind of scenario, will BOMBA give a special conditions or special approval so that the project can be go on and still comply with certain mandatory or basic principle from pihak BOMBA?
No, the question here is a KM problem.
Okay.
It's rise from the KM.
Okay.
Actually, the remote area in terms of space, you shouldn't be a problem. Correct? But because of we design it in such a way, then we come to BOMBA. We also must bow into the 6 meters. By the way, I cannot answer whether I can or not. It's based on the case.
Okay.
But it's possible. Try to comply. 6 meters.
All right. Tuan, so this is also after we heard about in terms of the new amendment of UBBL. This is a question relation to that. UBBL Amendment 2012, only 3 states has ratified. In case of differing requirement in UBBL 1984 and UBBL Amendment 2012, in states that is not ratified the amendment, which one should we use at this moment, and especially, and is the new amendment that in the plan that will be ratified by all states, or it will be still like the current scenario?
We will try our best. We see how next year the move. If we were able to table to the AG is as soon as possible. We are the AG also know this one, the agents of these things. We hope that we will settle by beginning of this year. Then it shouldn't be a problem, the issue. We know this issue. That's why we are urgent to amend the UBBL. Okay? Okay, all right. Okay, this is on the also to comply with the requirement, especially on the for the BOMBA, especially on the heritage building. How about a heritage building that cannot comply a certain thing because of requirement of Jabatan Warisan? I think this is specifically in terms of certain area or the height or the requirement and or the fire safety and so on. So in this kind of scenario, because I think especially area like Malacca, Penang, or even some part of the KL is still having this, Jabatan Warisan has already certified certain building as heritage building. In this scenario, is there any special clauses or special cases
that the developer or the consultant can refer to, Tuan?
Yeah, we try to develop the new guideline
Mm-hmm.
for the heritage. Our base is we follow the British standards.
Mm-hmm.
Because British standard is a very they have a plenty of heritage building, and we see there's more practical. We will give a little bit. We cannot treat them as a new building. We treat them as a heritage building with some reservation over there. It's a lot of things can be done actually.
Okay.
We will come up with a new design, but honestly, we will using the British guideline.
All right. Sure.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Tuan. Tuan, just now you also mentioned about the inspection checklist for CCC for the SP and PSP to pre-inspect prior engage the request of Jabatan BOMBA to do the final inspection. Where can we download this checklist of specific forms that Tuan was mentioned just now?
In this moment, we are manual. That's why I'm saying we try to develop the e-premise. E-premise later on. We will download everything is there.
Okay.
In the future, once your request for the inspection, automatically this form will be go to you.
Okay. All right.
But in this time, of course, manual. In the future, when we develop the system, we cooperate all day. Once you request for the inspection, they will come out. This is the thing they need to do done first.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Tuan. Tuan, just now also from the future solutions is looking at the fire safety officer and all these things. Any estimated time or plans that will be rolling out on all these plans so that will be more on the stakeholder, especially on the developer, especially on all the constructed building that are yearly due for fire certification or renewal. I believe that this will be very, very much towards what they would like to know on this particular matter.
So the question is?
When will be the fire safety officer, the registration and all these things will be rolling out? Yeah.
I think that is still long time. We already agree by the cabinet to having this type of regulation, but then to do into the act is still long time. I do not know. I cannot answer you how long is this.
All right. Okay. Okay, and also just now, Tuan, this is something that is in the plan, but I think one of the participants would like to know is also for registration of fire safety contractor. Does it mean that registered, if a contractor has been registered as a fire safety contractor, that means that this particular contractor can submit without an architect, or it is just the execution work that will be required by this particular contractor? How is this fire safety contractor works in the plan right now?
Okay, we will plan next year. We do it manually. Do it manually first.
Okay.
Administratively first.
Okay.
The purpose of fire safety contractor not to take place of the PSP, must remember this.
Okay.
The contractor to install their own firefighting equipment. That's only safety equipment. So they have to get those who do this just register. If you know EFIS system, EFIS fire extinguisher system, the one who do the maintenance or do the fire extinguisher, basically that's the one we in terms of the fire contractor as well. They will categorize in our draft of the regulation. There's 3 categories or 4 categories of the contractor: mechanical, electrical, agriculture, any portable fire extinguisher. 4 categories they will register.
Okay.
So the purpose is so that every contractor they will responsible and know what they're doing, and they are competent to do the work. We don't want them to do just like that, then no responsibility, no law binding of them and so on.
I see.
Once we register, you have to bind by the law.
Okay, great. This is just a suggestion from Surveyor Ashok Kumar. He said, we are greatly appreciated if Pihak BOMBA can consider building surveyor as part of your committee and also a fire inspector. Please advise.
Building surveyor, I think this one architects probably can, PM can answer, I think.
Okay, I think at this moment I do not want to. I do not have the authority to answer on behalf of PAM. So yeah.
PAM. So not in this time, lah. Not in this time.
I see. All right. Okay. Sure.
But you can ask into the to the architect to whether they agree the surveyor and so on. But this is the view of the KM lah, because surveyor can do the KM. Maybe we can separate meeting probably later on or something like that.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Yeah, I think there's quite a number of building surveyor also is on the, in the country. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Tuan, this is on the, if let's say we're talking about renovation or refurbishment project for an old building. There are some requirements in the UBBL cannot be followed. If the engineer used MS 1183 fire safety management to encounter some of this problem, will BOMBA accept it?
Yeah, we are open over that. We are open about that. You must be another thing to alternative, but not main of the escape.
Okay, not main of the escape. All right.
That thing we probably can consider using the fire safety engineering approach.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Great. Tuan, this is regarding on the wet riser staging. The question said, can Tuan Edwin also provide further explanation to the wet riser staging as mentioned earlier during the talk? And also another question is same thing on the wet riser. For the wet riser system, the stage shall not exceed 60 meters according to UBBL. For bottom stage, the 60-meter stage calculation start from the pump to the landing wharf. For the upper stage, the 60-meter stage calculation start from the landing wharf to the landing wharf. Is this circular issued back in 2012? This is the BOMBA circular issue back in 2012. Is this still correct and valid?
So now we're going to collect you very soon. We work together with the IM. Okay. Okay, take note. We will circulate to you very clearly what is the stage look like. Okay. So maybe we will work together with the IM. We will give the circular how the IM also can circular we can use together. It's a BOMBA as well. Okay, we already agree with certain understanding already together with the IM. Okay, great. Okay, this is okay. Let me just go through some of the questions. Okay. Okay, Tuan, in the calculation of mean width of escape staircase, 1183 requirement dimension to be according to the 7th schedule of UBBL. But however, in MS 1184 2014, Universal Design states minimum width of stairs as 1.2 meter and the landing at 1.5 meter. Which one shall designer to follow on in this scenario? UBBL. UBBL. Yeah. Schedule 7. Okay. Schedule 7. Okay. Thank you, Tuan. Okay. Okay. This is specifically pertaining to the East Malaysia pre-inspection of fire compliance as per CCC requirement.
Would it be also implemented the similar in the state of Sabah and Sarawak?
Pre-inspection. Oh yes, all over the state.
All over the Malaysia. All right.
So we already give instruction already.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. This is from a question from Oizi Hong. Tuan, the pressurization system designed for a protected staircase and firefighting lift lobby is referring to MS 1472. However, the design is not clearly spelled out the pressurization design for protected corridor. So shall we design the protected corridor as per the protected staircase in accordance to 1472?
Yeah, we are partly about amendment later on. We will call the engineer. We will to agree certain pressurized system should be used. Even the ventilation, pressurized system, smoke movement, all this we will consider in our amendment and we will.
Okay.
We will yet to discuss with the IM what is the agreement that we are going to use later on.
All right.
Okay. It's a part of UBBL amendment.
This is from the same question from East Malaysia. On the UBBL, will the new amendments of UBBL also apply to East Malaysia, specifically Sabah and Sarawak?
We hope that Sabah and Sarawak will use this.
Okay.
What more to say? I'm a Sarawakian. I might ask them to use also. We already mentioned this to the when we meet with the chief minister. So one of the issue you want them to put is to amend their building by law, their building ordinance to the new that we're going to introduce. Okay, to give you the understanding, fire safety is regardless of the which country you are, which boundary you are, all apply the same thing. Okay, whatever apply in UK, also we try our best to apply in Malaysia, based on our environment. And what more to say, Malaysia, fire safety is covered all over the Malaysia. We hope that every state will follow the new amendment. That's why we told the state Sabah, state Sarawak, Holland first, follow the new amendment they're going to do. Number one. Number two, that is the reason we want to introduce fire safety code under the Fire Service Act, so that the state is not distribute in terms of fire safety. Because if you put into the Fire Service Act, it's applied to all of the country. That's the reason. Okay? Am I answer the question?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Tuan. Okay, I just go through a lot of questions. It's very much looking at a lot of case study, and also some of it is kind of like similar in terms of the calculation method and all these things. Perhaps I will just go, let me just browse through one or two more questions here, because our time is also already 11:54. So I think we would just need to end it very soon. Okay. Okay, this is on the fire roll shutter, about on the mean of escape. Besides the fire-rated protected corridor, is the production area and client would like to have glass viewing panel along the fire-rated protected corridor. Can we install a fire-rated rural shutter at the glass viewing panel area in the fire-rated protected corridor?
Just now I already answered. No rural shutter is allowed.
Okay.
Protected corridor.
Okay.
I already in my Texas now, isn't it?
Texas, yeah. Okay. All right. Stage 1 bar. Okay. Okay. This is on the hose reel. Good morning. Based on MS 1489, one stage weight riser for 20 bar system design pressure. which can apply for a building approximately 130-meter building height. What about hose rail? Can we use a single stage for 130-meter height building?
Not in this moment.
Not in this moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is again on the roll shutter. How about insulated type of fire roll shutter in the protected corridor? Is it still no, right?
No. No roll shutter at all.
No roll shutter at all. Yeah.
Protected corridor.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I think we almost answer all the things because the rest is very much similar in terms of the questions and similar, very similar. Okay. So this is one of the rejection that is come about. Okay. Okay, this is one of the participants has faced before. The rejection was due to an interpretation example officer used by the Red Book, says 3 landing wall for the wet riser. But MS 1489 do not have this requirement. Red Book supposedly is just a guide. How is this would be Tuan, if let's say this kind of scenario happen? What can the PSP or the developer can appeal to, or how is it? Because let's say the officer is using Red Book as a guide. Yeah.
Red Book is even though it's a guide, they are referred to MS standard. Probably the Red Book has because we hadn't revised the Red Book. Probably this is outdated already. Whatever standard that take place, they should follow the standards. Because there may be the outdated the standard we use. That's why the agent need to come up with a new book after UBBL later on.
Okay. All right. Tuan, this is regarding to the bomber lift shaft opening. Does fusible link fire damper comply to bomber lift shaft opening requirement?
What opening is this?
Fusible link fire damper. Is it comply to the bomber lift shaft opening requirement?
Lift shaft opening. Fire damper. No, there's no fire damper in the lift. I think I cannot get the question. Probably those who ask the question come to us. I never know there's a fire damper in the lift.
Okay, all right. Yeah, this is something new. Okay, okay, this is something that the participant would like to know. Okay, which university will there be a fire safety postgraduate course to be conducted? Any recommendation from Tuan?
We will give you the times of time later on. We will work together with the professional. The professional, we will tell you where and which university later on.
Okay, all right. I think it's coming towards the end of the webinar. I think we have almost answered all the questions from the participants because I believe that I saw a lot of mostly quite similar in terms of the questions. So once again, with this particular opportunity, I would like to thank again Jabatan Bomba dan Penyelamat Malaysia, specifically to Tuan Yang Setia, TPJP, Edwin Galan Teruki, for accepting and also to give us such a good session today. And again, I would like to thank all the participants to stay on for the past 2 hours, and for all the questions, we will be submitting compiling all the questions to Pihak Bomba and for them for the record. And once again, I would like to thank Tuan Edwin. Thank you so much for the time, and thank you so much for the session. Thank you, Tuan Edwin.
Yeah, thank you. With this end my talks. I'd like to thank you very much to the moderator, Tuan Haji Syamsul Arman, correct?
Yes.
Arman Yap.
Arman, yes.
That's why at the beginning part I want to call you Yap, easy for me. Okay, and also the MPC to conduct such of a meaningful and also very fruitful webinar series, and I hope that those participants will start now to do the cooperation with us so that the fire safety in our country will put into the higher level. And we really hope that fire safety will be the parity in our design of premises and our lifestyle as well. If you see the other country, I always quote the country, once fire safety is a tech parity, there is no much problem between BOMBA and also the professional and also the developer. We hope that the fire safety will be the first priority, and to declare and to share with you, after we implemented fire certificate and every deserted premises with a high-rise building, now almost zero fire happen in that deserted premises. We hope that will be applied for other buildings as well. Thank you very much, and thank you.
Thank you, Tuan Edwin. Before we ended, I also would like to thank for all the participants today on the Zoom webinar. We have a total full house today. That just now on the highest, we have total 503 participants is on the Zoom webinar. And we also have quite a numbers of hundreds of the participants on the Facebook. So we are still calculating the Facebook viewers right now. So, but thank you everyone that has been staying with us for the entire whole session, where either you are in the Zoom webinar or you are on the Facebook Live. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, I would like to say to tell everyone, please stay healthy and stay productive. And I quoted what the DG Health is always saying, kita teguh, kita menang. The COVID is still not ended yet. We need to make sure that we are keeping ourselves, everything is clean. All right. But once again, thank you so much. Thank you, Tuan Edwin. Thank you, MPC, for arranging this. Thank you, Jabatan Bomba dan Penyeluan Malaysia. Thank you so much.